All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. RC Bash Boy here. Welcome. Welcome to Saturday Night RC Live. So it's 6:28 my time. I know typically I start at 8 o'clock. But see, the thing is, I've had, a really busy week. Actually, even last week, I didn't have the opportunity to go live because I just been super busy. So I said, you know what, I guess I can just make up some time and decided to start early actually. I mean, I'm about 2 hours early. So yeah, we have Green Frog RC says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hey man, good evening, Kagan. And we also have Bulkier RC. Hey man, good evening. Says, what up, guys? Then we also have Kevin Gibbs in the house. Says, hey Gabe, hey man, good evening. Welcome. So today's topic, we're gonna go ahead and talk about crawlers. Okay, I decided to take out, actually, to dust off my Vatera sender, the one that you see here pictured. And yeah, today's topic is crawlers. So then we have AC Frogs RC and more says, on early tonight. Hello, Gabe and everyone. Hey, what's up, man? Good evening. Welcome. And then we have Carlos Ramirez. He says, yo, those of you guys that don't know, Carlos Ramirez, actually, he is a technician there at my local hobby shop. And he is the guy that actually helps me in case I have any questions, any issues with my RCs. This is one of the two, mechanics, my local hobby shop, that actually gives me a hand. So, Carlos Ramirez, hey man, welcome. Good evening. And then Mr. RC Boot in the house says, what up, Gabe? Hey man, good evening. Welcome. And Steve D in the house says, you're on early. Yeah, man. So I didn't go live last week, so I just decided, you know what, I guess I'll just make up some time, and yeah, um, just hang out with you guys a bit more. Carlos Ramirez says Mikey is here too. So yeah, Carlos and Michael are the two mechanics, two technicians that they do work at my local hobby shop. So yeah, huge shout out to them. Those are the guys that are actually even behind the scenes of here my channel, RC Basher Boy. Anything that needs to be fabricated, done, build. In case I don't have the time, these are the gentlemen that actually help me with my RC. So welcome, gentlemen. Let's see here. It looks like everybody's saying hi to everybody, and I'm hoping I'm already caught up with the chat. In case I missed you, I'm sorry, but let's see. I think I got everybody. So, and we have RCU next Tuesday. It says, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome, gentlemen. So, before we start the show, I would like to do a couple shout outs, and actually, it's going to be two shout outs, two channels. We'll start with the first one. He goes by the name of Mo RC. Okay, actually, I stumbled upon his channel, I would say maybe a few days ago. And the cool thing about his channel is that he actually does comparison videos. He actually did compare the Arma Granite, with the Arma Big Rock. He actually put them, side by side, and to me that was, highly informative. I also did check out, the rest of his channel, and that guy's really into RCs. So yeah, huge shout out to Mo RC. If you guys like, give me a second here. Let me see. Okay, so here it is. So huge shout out to him, MoRC, like I said. And as you can see, he goes, step by step on vehicles and stuff like that. So stumble upon his channel, and he's at 108 subscribers. Okay. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and check him out, you know, trust me, you will not be disappointed. Okay, so let's see. Then we have Fims Presents RC says, "What's up, peeps? Hey man, good evening. Welcome, welcome." So yeah, so shout out to MoRC. And my next shout out of the night will be come on, I can bring him up here really quick. He goes by the name of RC Recreation. Actually, also he likes to jump in here on the live streams every so often. But if I do see him come in, I will actually highlight his channel. And so yeah, I mean, what I'd like to do is give a shout out to RC Recreation. And this fellow YouTube member, this friend of mine, he's really into RCs. He likes building stuff and just talking about RC in general. The reason why I even brought him up today is because actually he recently uploaded a hilarious video, which I thought it was hilarious, right? So shout out to RC Recreation. Hopefully my camera's catching that. Yeah, it's 342 subscribers, and yeah, this is the video I was telling you about. So if you wanna have a few laughs here and there, he calls it, it's epic meal time, and he's actually bashing his Kraden, and it's pretty enjoyable. So go ahead and check out RC Recreation if you haven't subscribed to him already. Feel free to subscribe, and trust me, this guy will not disappoint at all either. So yeah. Carlos Ramirez says you should have the honcho on camera. I thought of that, but I don't know, man. I don't even know where to start, with my axial honcho. And if you guys are curious, okay, so my axial honcho is by far one of the most expensive RC vehicles that I own today. Actually, I did invest actually plenty of money, on that vehicle, and the people that actually build that truck for me is Carlos Ramirez and Mikey at Star City Hobby. So, and you know what? I'll tell you what. If you guys want to see the honcho, and I know it's just them, just asking, it's actually right here. It's quite handy. Um, but yeah, that is by far one of my most expensive crawlers that I have today. Why it makes it so expensive? Well, there's parts, there's labor, there's modifications. Originally that truck was bone stock, and I just started upgrading, little by little, to how it looks today. Okay, um, that thing started as a regular crawler, and then I just decided to upgrade little by little. Then we made it so top heavy that I just decided to just leave it as just that, being a honcho. So it went from a crawler to, I guess, a comp rig, which I mean, it had little time being as a comp rig. And then from there, it went to a trail truck. And now, physically, right now, that truck is a recovery vehicle. Okay, why a recovery vehicle? Well, I mean, it's got the beef, to actually move things, to actually, it's got the power for it. So, I I do have that thing set up, with a little trailer. Actually, even on my last giveaway that I ever did, I know my last giveaway was a servo, but the one before it, actually, I gave a small 124 scale crawler to a fellow YouTuber, good friend of ours. Actually, I haven't seen him around, but he goes by the name of RC Incarcerated. If you guys ever remember, it was the one that he won that giveaway. And what I did was it was a pretty much like a search and rescue kind of deal. I took my honcho out with the trailer, and we were just gonna go and look for it over there at the RC Bachelor Boy Arena. And yeah, so pretty much I strapped the box, with a couple of chains and just load onto the trailer and shipped it all the way down to RC Incarcerated. So that was it, So, but yeah, so without further ado, let me grab the truck, see what you guys see what I'm talking about here. So yeah, give me a second. Alrighty. So we move the ascender out of the way, and we roll this big old thing onto here. Let's see. There you go. That looks pretty, right? So there it is. This is my beloved Axial Honcho SCX10. This is the first gen SCX10. Right now, actually, we're in the SCX10-3, which I happen to own the SCX10-3, the Gladiator. But yeah, this is the first gen of the Honcho. So let's see here. We have JD Pest in the house. Hey man, good evening. And then I saw another comment here. It says Kevin Gibbs says, I hate that Vatera is gone. They made a nice, affordable truck. Yes, man, and I'm with you. It sucks that that brand actually went under, but oh well, man. It is what it is. Hopefully that brand slowly starts to maybe reincarnate with Losi or some other Horizon Hobby brand. But and you know which vehicle I really really love, from the bottom of my heart. If I see a Vatera Glamisphere like on a Losi platform, that would just actually make my day. But yeah, by the end of the day, it sucks that Vatera is no longer. And then we have Island RC Duke says, hey man, good evening, welcome. And then Bulgar's video says, Fatty, yes. So this vehicle goes by the name of Fatty. Why Fatty? Because this thing is heavy as hell. Okay, if I would ever want to try and put this thing on a diet, yeah, actually that would be quite challenging because this thing weighs, a lot. Okay, so yeah. Let's see here. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. So speaking about crawlers, earlier you were watching, the Vatera Ascender, and now I have, the Axial Honcho SCX10. Popularity, obviously, in my opinion, of course, popularity, Axial was the name brand even back then when it came out. The Honcho SCX10, it was everywhere. The Vatera Ascender was kind of like, I would say maybe like the Chevy Camaro, of in the car world, And the Honcho, pretty much the Honcho's like, yes, I mean, I know some people are gonna bash me and say, hey, well, Ford, Chevy, blah blah blah, should just showcase it the other way around. But so yeah, so Axial was by far the first company that just brought out the crawling scene out there. Okay, and then the rest of the companies just cut on. So this is by far, technically, this is by far like the Ford company of crawling, Axial. So Axial came along, and then Vatera came out, and then they brought out the Ascender uh, platform, and so yeah. Now comparing them side by side, the Ascender does have features that are, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? It does have the features that are unique from a Honcho SCX10. And before portals, before anything else, and I know we don't have Sean here in here yet. Before portals, before anything, so the Honcho SCX10, what the issue that this truck had was, the pumpkin, the differentials, they were so big that you would actually get caught up on things. And when the Vatera Ascender came out, hopefully my camera's catching that. The Vatera Ascender came out with a much slimmer differential. Okay. Obviously, the Honcho right now that you see is sitting on 2.2s, and the Vatera Ascender, one on your left, is actually sitting on 1.9s. And as you can see, even on 1.9s, the Vatera Ascender has plenty of clearance, from differentials. So that was by far one of the, I guess, great innovations from Vatera at the time. And of course now, we all here know about portals and stuff like that, and but yeah. So even back then, when these vehicles were fairly new, okay, standard Honcho SCX10, the freaking differential was like this thick. Okay, so most likely, it was highly likely that you would actually get caught up on a rock or any type of thing that you just get caught on the on those axles, and that would make it a bit challenging, for you to conquer the trail. So yeah, and then this thing came out, and yeah, it was a bit easier, to conquer any terrain. From there, we can move on, even to the battery tray. Okay, some people love it, some people hate it, but the battery tray, actually, on this truck, you would have to run a shorty pack battery on this truck. And the Axial SCX10, you can actually run a standardized 2S LiPo, 3S LiPo, standard size battery. But on this thing, on the Vatera Ascender, you would need a shorty pack. Okay, and they do call the tray being a floatable, tray. Technically, for performance or anything like that, I really don't know what that would actually do, but it is a floating battery tray. What Vatera so claims. But yeah, it's a shorty pack, and so yeah, those are the other differences, that the Ascender had that the Honcho didn't. Another thing that I'm actually remembering, so the Honcho SCX10, even the links, okay, this was, I think it was a 3-point harness, 3-point link setup, front, and I think the rear was just standard 2-point link setup. And the Honcho SCX10 had plastic links. Now on the Vatera Ascender, this thing had metal links right out of the box. So that was one of the cool things about the Vatera Ascender. Let's see. So metal links, and if I'm not mistaken, let me move my big old Honcho out of the way. This thing is heavy, man. Let's see. Another neat feature about the Ascender is that, I don't know if, no, actually my camera won't catch that, but I'll go further more into detail. So another neat feature about the Vatera Ascender is that the chassis is actually adjustable, based on the wheel what do you call it? Wheelbase. If you would actually want to stretch this, this is the place. So you could go in there and stretch it out or just slim it a bit more. But even at that, man, Vatera actually had great features. With this platform. Okay. So this thing out of the box, man, was just all you had to do is just pretty much plug in a battery and go. Uh, Another thing that I did catch on, so I do own the 72 Chevy. I know on the Ascender it came the Blazer, the Bronco, and actually the Chevy Suburban, which I think was one of the last of the Ascenders. And which else am I missing? Blazer, Bronco. I'm missing one. Uh, so yeah, the thing is, you can actually just exchange, the pretty much the chassis length, based on your wheelbase. So even at that, man, it's pretty awesome right out of the box. The only thing I had issues with this truck out of the box is that this thing came fairly high. Okay, and I don't know why, but Vatera did that. But so this truck actually was sitting pretty high, and all I had to do was just adjust the shocks so I can just bring the suspension lower. The reason why I had to lower it is because I was actually binding the shafts. Okay, so this thing was actually further down, and what was happening was I was actually getting a slight bind on the I don't know if it was the front or the rear. I don't remember on top of my head, but as I would run it, you would actually hear a click, just tick, 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 and you would, if I would actually just give it throttle, on the freewheel like that, you can actually see one of the axles. Like I said, I don't remember which axle was struggling, but you would give it throttle, and then you could actually see that bind up developing as you would accelerate. So the solution was just to lower the truck a bit so that that binding issue from the shafts would just go away. And yeah, that was it. There was a lot of criticism also in this truck with the suspension. Some people say that the suspension, it was fairly too stiff. Some people do love the articulation, and I do see where this thing can struggle, and as you use it, more, if you happen to own one of these. But personally, the way it's set up, I mean, these shocks actually do amazing. But yeah, you can actually see that these shocks, they're fairly stiff. I mean, actually, let me compress it all and look. See that? You can even see that they still go. So even the suspension is fairly stiff. But on the trail, it does amazing. I mean, who knows what the innovation is behind, all that, having a stiff suspension. But on the trail, this vehicle does really, um, really amazing. So then we have Sean's RC Adventures in the house. Says, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen." Sean's RC Adventures also says that thing needs inner fenders badly, right? So you can clearly see through the inside. Yeah. So actually, I don't even know the year when I picked this up. Uh, Probably maybe 2015, maybe around there. 2014, 2015 when this thing came out. Actually, I did pick this up when this thing barely came out. Actually, I did place my order my local hobby shop. I know my local hobby shop is still here. I don't know if they left or what, but um, I did place my order. Hold on, let me see if I can focus my camera back again. there is. So this thing, yeah, let's see, the times that I've used this thing, I know it doesn't show signs of wear and tear, but believe it or not, I've used this, many, many times. I would say maybe 12, 15 times, maybe. And yeah, man, this thing does not disappoint. Also, another thing, um, the tires that this truck has, okay, actually they were given to me, and it was just right out of the blue. One day actually I don't remember whose live stream, but Axiomatic, if you guys don't know Axiomatic RC said that he had a spare of Beatlock wheels that he just wanted to give away. And I said, hey man, well if you don't want them, like I don't mind. And Axiomatic actually gave me, these Beatlock wheels and tires, and I'm still rocking them. So the stock tires that were on the truck, actually the only original tire that I have would just be the spare. It's actually behind there, and I still have them. They're around, but I don't know exactly where they are. But yeah, uh, the tires actually they were given to me by Axiomatic RC. So if you're watching, my friend, I'm still rocking them. They're still there, and I highly appreciate it, man. This thing does really, really amazing, especially with these tires now. Since they're much softer. The other ones actually even they were harder. That's what she said, right? But yeah, these even on the trail, man, they do so well. So like I said, this truck does amazing, right out of the box. So upgrades on the truck. Um, the upgrades that will be on the truck, and on top of my head, man, it would be, the wheels and tires, sponsored by uh Axiomatic RC, and then the winch. So actually, I had to bring the bumper forward, so we can fit the winch there. So, and then we have Sean Garcia Venture says, RC shelf queens. No, man, I said, I've used this about 15 times. And look, if you think about it, okay, so yes, I mean, I can say, this is a low mile, truck. Actually, even like in the market, when you go out there and find a vehicle, this is a bargain find because it does have low miles. I'll give you that. But I've used it. Okay, this thing does show, signs of wear and tear. Like for example, here, like it's heavily scratched. Uh, Even here, there's a couple scratches here and there. Um, Actually, even the pumpkins on the diffs. I mean, since it's so high centered, it's okay. But I don't know. I do have this in mind. Okay, it's not that I have my vehicles as shelf queens. Just have in mind that my volume of RCs, it's a big one. Okay, it's 60 RCs. Okay, and actually, I haven't even had the time to even count them all. But I would say maybe about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I was at 50 plus, and I was like around 52, 53, around there. Of course, I did buy, on top of my head, I bought the Mojave, I bought the Laser Nut, I bought the Gladiator, the Rustler, to name a few vehicles. And I can actually technically tell you that I'm around 60 RCs now. Okay. It's not that I have shelf queens, is that it's pretty tough, man, to even run 60 RCs at a time. Okay. And right now, um, and I'll be honest with you, right now I really want to get back into the crawling scene. That's, one of the main reasons why I chose this topic. And, I want to ask you guys, aside from me talking about the Avatara Ascender, so if you are in the market for a crawler, if you would have to recommend a brand, which brand would you recommend? Comment down below. Let me know. And then see what these says. Take a shot every time Gabe says actually. Oh yeah, man, I'm very bad with repetition, you know. So, and yeah, I do say, actually, here's the thing, for starters. And then JD Pessel, oh, oh, oh. JD Pessel says, stop squeezing it. You want me to squeeze my tires, my friend? Green Fog RC says, shout out to Axiomatic RCs. Those tires look good, Gabriel. Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, wherever you are at Axiomatic, highly appreciate it, my friend. So Steel D from the 313 says, I'm drunk already, actually. So there you go, man. Good thing is you're having a good time, actually. And yeah, man. Chans RC Adventure says, must be nice to have no kids. I'll tell you that, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate to say that I'm not married. I don't have kids. And every time a new RC comes out, well, yeah, I mean, I do my research. Okay, don't think that I just go out there and just buy um whatever RC brand new that is out there. No, no, man. Every RC that I own, I did do my research. Um, I did plenty of research actually before I decide, to pull the trigger and buy it. Every RC that I do own, actually, and I know the person that did a 7-hour live stream, to showcase my entire RC fleet, and you can actually see that every RC that I do own has a story to tell. Okay, I mean, I just don't buy RCs out of random. I mean, I just do it because I like them, or because I have doubts about it, or I just wanna just bash them like from tomorrow, etc., etc. So even at that, man, that's the main reason why I guess my RC fleet is so big. And see, the thing is, there's been numerous people that have asked me, like, "Hey, Gabriel, you do have plenty of RCs. How come you don't start selling? So you can get new ones in the future?" The thing is, man, um, some of my RCs that I do own, and specifically from this brand, Latera, unfortunate to say, man, they are becoming paperweights. And why do I mention paperweight? Well, what do you do with a paperweight? Just pretty much just put it on top there and just let it sit there. And I know most of those RCs, that's what they're gonna become, because fortunate to say, Vatera is actually becoming a company that they're just not releasing parts from their vehicles, from their fleet. Uh, they're actually discontinuing their parts. So, example, the Glamisphere. The Glamisphere, one of the notorious parts that those vehicles have that they break is the bell cranks. The steering bell crank. Um, the thing is, right now I'm just down to 2 bags, and I know for a fact that I will break uh, most of those pretty soon if I use them too. Uh, and yeah, man, So then again, it goes back to the same question. And then I know I just even got off topic, but why don't you sell them? The thing is, man, I don't want to get pennies for an RC vehicle that I've actually enjoyed using. I don't know if I make sense, but I know most of the RCs, yeah, you pay what they're asking for, initially brand new, and by the end of the day, of course, they're scratched, they're used. Um, Obviously, they do arise, with defects and stuff like that. And next thing you know, man, if you put it on the market, most likely you won't even get a third of what you paid for. So to me, selling RC, it's not an option, because like I said, I guess it holds that sentimental value, and it's one of those things too, man, that obviously you're not gonna get what you pay for. So yeah, that's the main reason why I don't sell my RC. And trust me, there's been potential buyers. There's been people on YouTube that, and believe it or not, they've been wanting to purchase my Bigfoot Stampede just because I put the Cloudbuster tires on. Anybody can do that. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten the many cash offers on that. Also on my Glamispheres, because of other enthusiasts that they do like that platform. But the thing is, man, I just I would hate myself even if I would have to sell these vehicles in the future. So any vehicle that you see here is actually here to stay. Okay, I mean, I'm not the type of person that just buys and then sells and then just gets the newest version, the newest edition. No, man, not me. I actually, if I do buy the RC, is because it's here to stay. Till whatever, like just like how people when they get married, right, to death set us apart, right? So pretty much this is the way I roll with my RCs. So and yeah, man, I do even uh I do have vehicles that they are no longer made. They're discontinued, and I know most of you guys, of course, RC enthusiasts. You will be part of that thing where you bought an RC brand new and just give it a few years, and next thing you know, boom, it's discontinued. Losi is one of them. I do have the Losi LST, for example, the Losi LST XXL2. That's awesome monster truck. Because of that monster truck, that's the main reason why I don't own a Max, an X Max. I don't own a HPI Savage. I don't own a whichever monster truck that is out there. The reason why I never owned any other brand, when it comes to monster trucks, 1/8 scale monster truck, is because I had plenty of fun, and I still do. I had lots of fun, with my Losi LST XXL2. And even at that, man, there are a few parts that are becoming, discontinued, and also, that's what breaks my heart, you know. But yeah, you know, either or, of course, there's always aftermarket parts. There's always many, and even I know we have a RC Voodoo in the house. That guy, I heard that Mr. Daniel, he's really really good, with 3D printing. Okay, so even I can even reach out to those people or Daniel. If I would have to get a part 3D printed, well, maybe he can actually give me a hand with that. So just like the saying, man, there are gonna be obstacles, but there's never impossible. So yeah, you know. Anyway, let me get caught up on chat here really quick. Oh yeah, so there you go. RC Recreation says thank you, Gabriel. Um, so yeah, I did a shout out to your channel, my friend. I know you posted, a really really hilarious video earlier today, and so yeah, I mean, I just decided, to give you a quick shout out. So once again, I would just want to remind my audience, um, who I shout out tonight. It was RC Recreation and RC Mo. Okay, so if you want to check out, their channels, feel free. So let me see here. Then also, JD Passel says I will mess in with my Nitro Ruster tomorrow. I know. Also, JD Passel's actually going into the Nitro scene, so that's pretty cool. Let's see here. And I know we have. I did see my friend. Let me see if I can find his comment. 11 Charlie RC, hey man, welcome. Good evening. And I was talking about, pulling the trigger. Pulling the triggers for me, purchasing a truck. That's just I guess a way to put things. But he also says I used to put the trigger a lot. I know, my friend. I know. So, and then we also have Norcal RC says, "What up, all?" And he says, "Gabe, thanks for having us." Hey, man. Hopefully, you guys are having a great weekend, a great Saturday. And I highly appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Yours truly, RC Basher Boy. So yeah. So anyway, so again, back to crawlers. And before I even go any further, if you guys want to join, if you guys want to just shoot the breeze here with me live, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the link up on the chat. Actually, it's right there. All you got to do is just click it, and it will bring you here live with me. So yeah, all you got to do is just click the link, and feel free to come in. So let's see. Did I catch up on chat? Yeah. And of course, I'm sorry if I did miss your comments. My apologies. It's just that sometimes when I talk, I just lose my train of thought, and I can't be. And yeah, it's one of those things that we're men. We can't. Well, I can multitask. I'm sorry. So mostly I know women can multitask. Actually, they can do like 4 things at a time. Not me, man. If I actually start just talking, um, actually I just concentrate on the talking, and I actually just you know just even I just go with the flow, how they say, so let's see here. We have just go with the flow, how they say. We have JMH RC in the house. Hey, man, good evening, welcome. We have JMH RC in the house. Hey, man.
How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. So yeah, obviously you have your chat on YouTube. All I gotta do is just mute that, and then just leave the StreamYard open. Therefore, you can just because we are getting what is it, the back feedback. Now we have Bulgar RC videos, I think. Let's see your layout. Guess we go here. Yeah, there you go. And then RC Voodoo says somewhere in Ohio, Brett Kalman just woke up when he heard Lincoln Chat. And yeah, and it's still up there. So okay, so we have Bulgar RC videos. I think he's lagging. I don't know if you guys see him on your end, but and then JMHRC, I think he's trying to figure out how to I guess eliminate his feedback. I mean, I don't know. But yeah. So whenever you guys are ready, gentlemen. Let's see. So yeah. Oh man, I don't even know what year this truck actually came out. The Vatera Sender, if I'm not mistaken, that's probably like maybe 2014, around there. I know one of the first RC trucks, for the Terra Santa was actually the Chevy Blazer, the K5. Um, and when I saw that, actually, I was like, oh, I'm truly a Chevy fan. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw it, I don't know, I just for some reason I didn't really like it. I don't know. Don't blame me. But Bulgar's video says it did weird stuff. Wouldn't let me in. Okay. Well, if you want to try up again, man, the link is still up there, so feel free. So anyway, so yeah, I don't even know the year that this truck came out. But the 72 Chevy, it could be 2015 around there. So let's see.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Uncle Lee, good evening. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hey.
So what's cooking?
Oh man, I'm messing with some links, brother.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
How's that coming along?
Now we're trying to shorten up the wheelbase on this thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what are you working on, the SCX 1024?
No, I'm working on the MST little truck here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that you picked up. It was I think it was a square body, right? The Chevy truck, that gray one.
Yeah, that's the one. I got a Tamiya Sand Scorcher body for it here, so I got to shorten it down to a 250 millimeter wheelbase.
Oh boy. Okay. So and it's coming along, huh?
Oh yeah, they give you everything with the truck to shorten the wheelbase up. So yeah, it's just a matter of taking it apart and putting shorter links in.
Oh, sweet, sweet, man. Let's see. So, Uncle Lee, so today's topic is crawlers, and I know you are. Oh, and we just lost Uncle Lee again. What happened there? Then Green Frog RC says G-Main's new Buffaloes look a lot like the Cinder body design. Really? Okay. The K5 one. All right. Actually, the one that sold me was the Traxxas. The 79 Traxxas TRX4, and that was just amazing. Uncle Lee, you're back again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we lost you there for a second. So I was asking you before you got kicked out or somewhat. I was asking you, since you are also in the crawling scene a lot, for the people that are watching at home, what RC brand do you recommend, as far as crawling goes?
It depends what you're looking for. I guess if you want something durable just to take out and run around for a new guy or something, probably a TRX4. It all depends. For me personally, my next one's going to be a Boom Racing BRX-01.
Oh, the boom, yeah. Actually, I've seen those too, man, and those are basically kits, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a kit, but they're really sweet.
Yeah. So let's see. So I guess to do a starter pack, obviously even Axial does, what they call them, the raw builder's kit. Pretty much it's just the chassis. They don't even provide you with wheels or the body. It's just pretty much the chassis with the transmission. And I think you even have to provide your own electronics, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So that, I think the price tag on that, and don't quote me on this, okay? The last time I saw it was at $199, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right.
SCX10. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So from that, comparing it to the TRX4, also the builder's kit, I think that one's like maybe about 50 to $80 more, right? Maybe like at 260, 280, something like that.
I'm not sure what the Traxxas kit costs.
So now the Traxxas kit that I'm aware of, I know they do provide you with a body. I think they even provide you with the electronics. All you got to do is just bind it to your own receiver and servo, if I'm not mistaken. And again,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
quote me on this. Yeah. So now, if you want to get into the crawling scene, if you want to do pretty much like they call it, the raw builders kit, they do have the option of going with Axial, which is that 199, and then the TRX4, which is pretty much they include everything, even wheels, tires, body. Um, I really don't know exactly what types of electronics it comes with the kit, but with I think with like maybe $60 to $80 more, you do get all those features on the Traxxas TRX4. So now, which one would you pick, Bulgir, if you were in between those two?
Between the two, man, I hate to say it, but probably it's the Traxxas.
Right? No, and I'm with you. I'm with
But
you
don't forget,
because
Red Cat has a kit too.
do
Yeah.
they?
Yes, they have a pack, builder's pack. I think it's like $149 for it. No electronics, but
And it comes assembled.
yeah,
Fully assembled or pre-assembled?
It's pre-assembled chassis.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So even Red Cat. Okay.
I would say if you're looking for a scale crawler and getting into it, me personally, I say like a Red Cat Gen 8 right now, they're cheap if you want a scale crawler. If you want to get into competition, TRX4 Sport is probably the cheapest, ready to go out of the box, unless you're going to do custom build. And then you've got all these different packs to pick from. I love my Gen 8 on a Predator chassis. I'm charging batteries right now for my first competition for our winter series starting tomorrow. So it's been
Sweet,
a
man.
great setup since I put it together. But there's a lot of great options out there for custom builds now.
Sweet, man. Hey, and good. So it's gonna be your first time competing? I think I heard that right.
Well, it's not my first time competing. I've competed with a normal Gen 8, but this is our first event for our winter series this year. So
Okay.
this will actually be my second event with my new Comp 2 or Classic Predator build.
Oh, okay.
So looking forward to it.
That's sweet, man. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So I guess for what they call it, the bang for your buck will be Red Cat. And then Red Cat. So yeah, so you have Red Cat, you have Axial, you have Traxxas, whatever suits your wallet, man. So
You even got the, I mean, if you've got some money to spend, you got the Red Cat Axe Edition, which comes brushless. It's got a Reefs, I forgot what servo it is. I can't remember if it's the 422 or if it's the 555. I'm not sure, but a nice servo and the Axe, brushless system. I think it's about right around $500, but it's got a nice radio and everything in it.
yeah.
For a nice scale crawler, that's not a bad option either.
No, it isn't. It is not. So, huh. So yeah, so there you go. Do you own one by any chance?
Not an Axe Edition, I don't. I have test drove one. Exo Caged RC, when he had one, I got to drive his briefly.
Really? Okay.
And very nice driving rig. I mean, Gen 8s, their stock bodies are big. That's one of their downfalls, but they're nice scale looking. That's why I would say if you want to buy a rig to comp with right out of the bat, I think the TRX Sport's probably the best to just buy and start competing with.
And yeah, and it's all based on, I guess, what type of terrain you have, I guess, because
That's too.
yeah. So Look, I just barely got into the TRX4 scene, and I gotta say, man, that whole chassis, it is so capable. You had to do minimal upgrades, for that thing to become even more capable. And I'm very, very, very surprised, with that platform. So even if I had to choose, because I also did purchase the Axial SCX-103, and they're hand on hand, man. And it's right now. I don't even know which one to choose. When it comes to which one comes best, because they are hand on hand. So, but they're
I think
both great vehicles.
over the 10.3 personally, from what I've seen. I also have a Traxxas TRX4 Blazer, so I have that as well. So I've got some comparison. But from what I've seen of the 10.3, I think it's too bulky. But it's
Well,
nice. So it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, and also, so Axel did the regular SCX-103, the Rubicon, and then they threw in the Gladiator. That's the one I own with the
Okay.
longer wheelbase. Even the longer wheelbase, man, even it gives it a whole different performance grade, I guess, if I should say. For the lack of
So
a better word. Go
I
ahead,
see
Bulger.
this comment here. What is a pumpkin crawler, Shannon? Or Sean?
Yeah, I just highlighted. So yeah, so Sean's RC Adventure, he reads, Bulgir, how's that pumpkin crawler? I've been thinking about getting one.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what that is.
me neither. Let me see if he responds. But
Yeah, I can't see the chat.
no, and I got you. If he responds, so yeah, let us know, Sean. What is a pumpkin crawler? No, it's because Sean likes to pretty much put nicknames on vehicles. I think he named the low C laser nut. He named it the platypus because it's so far the tire's so far back. I'm like, okay. So
So heavy rigs or light rigs? What do y'all like?
what was that again?
Heavy crawlers or light crawlers? What's y'all's preference from a weight standpoint?
I like mine heavy.
I'm actually, pretty quite balanced on there. There are pros and cons on having, a light vehicle, but there are more pros and cons of having a much heavier vehicle. A lighter vehicle, obviously, you are more capable on rocks, but when it comes to inclines and stuff like that, that's when you actually struggle. And of course, that's just my opinion. Uh, and of course, the heavy stuff is just you need power, to move your truck. So that's my take on that. And we have Brandon Timden in the house. Hey man, good evening. Welcome, welcome. So let's see, Uncle Lee, Bulgari RC videos. Can you name all your crawlers?
First one is the Axial SCX-102 that is now Ugly Bubba.
Woohoo!
Yeah. The second one is my TRX4 Sport, which is now the 2021 Bronco. Let's see what came after that. After that was the Cross. No. After that was the Red Cat Gen 8. Then it was the Cross Demon RTR. I got a whole bunch of little 124 stuff. And now I have this MST truck that I'm playing around with.
Okay, so you would say maybe roughly. I mean, I didn't count them, but like roughly what, 8, 9?
Oh, and then there's the Gremlin thing too that Tim over at Tandem C's building for me. I forgot about that one. So I think around 13 maybe.
Oh, I was way off. Okay, cool, man. So you said you had the Cross RC, the Demon. Now,
Yeah.
what's the word on that
Got
one?
2 of those.
2 of them, really? So what's the word on that?
Yeah, the RTR, I really like that. It's a really capable truck. I think it's pretty underestimated. Now Cross did just come out. The weak point in those trucks were the transmission. The gears were real thin, but
Yeah.
Cross just came out with an upgraded transmission for them. Got big old thick metal gears in it. So I think they've eliminated that problem.
I like the scale looks of those. I considered one.
So there you go, Uncle Lee. So Sean's RC Adventure says it's the one you had on Tandem C television built. Pumpkin crawlers were made with a frame build around the body. Pumpkin crawlers actually had their own website, Facebook page, everything.
Oh, pimpin' crawlers. That's Ugly Bubba he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tandem C put the he put an interior in it for me. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that was the original SCX 10.2 after I did all the upgrades to it that I could. There wasn't anything left basically but the chassis. So I got a Pimpin' Crawlers chassis for it, and you know, I sent it over to Tim, let him put an interior in it for me, and it's at the house. It'll be back on the channel here pretty soon.
Oh man, and look, so those of you guys don't know, so Bogey RC videos actually. So when did you start YouTube, Uncle Lee?
It was January 1st of 2018 when I started my channel, and I ordered a truck.
Yeah, and actually, because I think we started our channels kind of the same time. And I was around even when you just had a regular SCX10, and that's when you just converted to Ugly Bubba. And we haven't seen much of Ugly Bubba ever since. You know, and I'm actually one of your longtime followers, and I'm eager to see it, man.
Yeah, all it lacks is electronics right now, and that's kind of what I'm doing, is going through all my trucks and getting them all set up on my DX5 radio. So that'll be next. I wanted to get the Bronco done, and then I'll go ahead and put the interior, the electronics and Ugly Bubba, and bring it back on the channel.
Woo-hoo.
So that's kind of the next project. This MST one is just kind of in between everything, you know.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that one. That's for sure. So let me ask. So it's JMHRC. So AMHRC. So what vehicles do you own? Any crawlers?
Yeah, so I have an original Gen 8. Then I have TRX4 Blazer. Then my Comp 2 build, which is Gen 8 based with a Predator chassis. Then I have a Comp 3 build that I'm still working on, it was a Gen 7 Pro with portal upgrades and now has the Gen 8 Predator chassis on it. And then I have, to be honest, I don't even know what it is. It's a Class 1 rig. It's a Jeep. I don't even know what the chassis is. Something axial based. It was one of those marketplace deals. I bought it because I liked the way it looked. But it's all spring set up. It doesn't really perform that great. But I guess that's the deal with Class 1. I like the way it looked. I bought it. And I think for crawlers, and I do have an SCX 24 that I'm getting rid of because I'm not really, small ones don't do it.
Let me ask you this really quick. So Class 1, those are the ones that like they're really, really, comp crawlers, right? The ones that even have the motors on the axles and stuff like that?
No, that's Class 3 with the motors on the axles. It's sort of like, that's the wild class. You can sort of do anything you want, more or less. 4-wheel steering if you want, that kind of stuff. Class 1 is more like your everyday truck.
Correct.
Like really scale stuff.
Right. Okay. So I just had them mixed up. Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
So I got a few crawlers, and then I got some bashers. I got a Traxxas Max monster truck. My first ever hobby grade RC was a Durtrax Evader that I still have. And then
Did you really? Wow.
Yeah. So
I actually I had one of those too back in the day. Is it the Evader, the ST, the two-wheel drive?
the ST. Yep.
Is it what is it? The green with gray or just all gray?
Green and black, sorta, and they had blue and black. I actually have both bodies. So
Really?
I had that like probably 15 years ago. I still have it, but I had put when Traxxas came out with their VLON system, I put one of those in it. Did like 40, 45 miles an hour, but it kept melting the transmissions, and I
Yeah.
parked it and didn't mess with it for years. I have a son now, and he's been bugging me. That's actually what got me into the crawlers. Is he wanted me to get that running, so I got it running, and he wanted to play with it, and it was too fast for him. So I was like, let's get a crawler. I was sort of interested in a crawler anyway. I was like, let's get something that's slow that he can learn on, and that's what got me into the crawlers.
Yeah, sweet, man. And those of you guys that don't know, what the Duratrax Evader looks like, it's kind of like a Rustler. It's a stadium truck. And actually, I did own one of those back in the day. And the thing is, with those vehicles, the parts are actually hard to come by. And I don't know if you're having the same issue.
Yes.
But yeah, that one I had to retire it pretty quickly because they broke one of the A-arms, and that was it. So
I got lucky many years ago, and I bought off eBay like a more or less almost a whole rig that was parts, basically, so a lot of extra parts. But when I got out of it and parked it, evidently they came out with the Evader EXT, I think it was. It was basically like a brushless type Evader, and the transmission is stronger. So evidently they came out with those, and those were supposed to be really good from what I hear, and that's the transmission you want. The transmission that's in mine is, a ball diff, and you got to have it set just right, or it just melts it. But that EXT tranny, they say, is really good and can take the power, but it's also discontinued. Finding that is hard.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, but that's the luck you get, with Duratrax. So
yeah, exactly. So I actually have my Red Cat crawler motor in mine now for my son to drive. It does like 20 miles an hour with that motor in it, so he can play with it, and it holds up just fine with that.
I bet, man. Pretty cool. And that's pretty cool, man. To actually hear someone, talking about a Duratrax Evader.
Yeah, my first hobby grade.
And actually, to me, that will probably be my second, because my first vehicle was a eRevo.
Okay.
And then from there, I just went with it was a eRevo, it was the Mini, and from there I got that Duratrax Street Evader. I think I had it for like a few months, and then I just decided just to, I think I even scrapped it. I really don't know what I did with it, because I went to many hobby shops here in my town, and everywhere I went, oh, Duratrax, oh, sorry, no parts. So
yep. Been there.
Yeah, and even at the time, the internet wasn't that popular as it is now. And I'm talking about, I would say maybe 2006, maybe 2005.
Yep.
So I mean,
that was about the time I got mine, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So, but hey, you kept yours. I mean, if I would have kept mine, actually, it would have been in pieces still. But you kept yours. That's cool.
Yeah. There's actually a Facebook group. Of course, there's a Facebook group for everything now, right?
Yeah.
But I just recently found this Facebook group for Evaders, and people are posting selling them, and this, that, and the other. So it's pretty cool. I found a few parts through that.
That's awesome, man. And mine, the one that I had was it was all gray. That's what I remember. And it just had a little bit of yellow on there. It was all gray, and then I think it said Evader with yellow letters.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think there was I don't know if it was 3 or 4 different colors. I know a bluish purple, a green, and I do remember a yellow one, I think.
Yeah. And I know it was, grayish with yellow, something like that.
Yeah. Sounds right.
That's cool, man. So anyway, so we have Kevin Gibbs. Actually, he's telling Sean RC Adventures here on chat. He says, Sean, you should put a portal delete kit on one of your TRX4s. So, gentlemen, Have you guys heard of the Portal Delete kit? What do you guys think of it? Anything? No?
First, I've heard of them making a kit for it. I would ask, why would you want to do it?
And that's the same question I asked myself. So the vehicle, the TRX4, does really, really well on this portal. Now, eliminating them, it's kind of like you have to ask, why?
I think that's the guys that are really deep into the scale thing that don't like the portals.
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I would just think, though, in my personal opinion, I think you would buy a rig or build a rig around that if that's what you want. I don't know. That's just my thinking.
Yeah, it's like the guys that complain about the SCX 10.3 having portals. They want a non-portal version, so well, just get an SCX 10.2. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, if you're complaining about, in my opinion, if you're complaining about the 10.3 having portals, then you should be complaining about it having dig also.
Yeah. No, and look, there are opinions, with the dig. I know, like, for example, the Axial Gladiator comes, with dig. I went out on a trail. Actually, it was off camera. It was just me and a couple friends here locally. And we actually went through this, I would say maybe in a scale of saying 1 through 10, 10 being the most difficult, 1 being, super easy. I think it was like a scale of maybe 8. It was a pretty tough trail. Okay, and it was actually an ascent. We were actually going up, and I didn't really use the dig much because I was actually even going up, and the thing is, that Jeep did so well on that trail that I technically I really had to use it. So of course, there are the people that say, you know what, I would rather just exchange that for the 2-speed than to have a dig. So I don't know if you guys have any input on that as well, but personally, to me, I would just rather just keep the dig, just leave it as is. Because in case you really do need, that extra kick, that extra sliding turn, I guess, what the dig does. But I would just personally just leave it as is. I don't know what you guys take on the dig or having a 2-speed transmission. What do you guys think?
I ran a 10.3. I don't know if you ever heard of Wrecker RC, but I went and visited with him, and he had a 10.3 that I ran, and I never used the dig. I didn't run into any type of situation where I'd need it.
Yeah, I've never driven a rig with, I've driven a rig with, I guess, with dig, but never actually used the dig. And my understanding is, it's handy if you know how to use it, sort of like 4-wheel steering as well. I think for competition, it has its place. If you're competing, dig has its place. But for a trail truck, I don't see the purpose. You mentioned 2-speed transmissions, like, my TRX4 Blazer has a 2-speed, and I will say I use that a lot. Trailing, or even when I have competed with it, I've used it in certain instances. Do I need it? Not necessarily, but
it comes in handy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then also, also mention this, that even the Blazer not only provides a 2-speed, but also has lockers. And even that, I mean, it doesn't get more scale than that, to be honest.
Absolutely. And the other thing it has, the Traxxas has with their remote system, it has cruise control. So, like, if you're trailing, you can put it on cruise control, basically on throttle control is, I guess, a better way of putting it. But, and you can lock the speed, and you can use the one dial and dial it up or down. So, like, if you're trailing for a while, and I've done that many times, put it on that, and then hold the remote with one hand and just, with the steering, which is cool for, in my opinion, for a trail truck. Is it over the top? Maybe a little bit, but still works.
Right. So then we have Sean's RC Adventures, and actually, I'm gonna read this comment. I don't know if you guys, what do you guys think of this? He says, portals are for people who can't drive. What do you guys think? I mean,
Everything has its place. Everything has its place.
yeah,
If you're competing, you want portals, in my opinion. If you're competing, especially class 2, class 3, can you do it without portals? Absolutely, but you want every advantage if you're competing, and portals are an advantage.
exactly. It's not I guess if we would have to reword it, it's not that you don't know how to drive. It's just it simply makes it, a lot simpler for you to actually conquer whichever challenge you are approaching. But yeah, and personally, I do own this, which is of a Terra Sender. This thing doesn't have portals, but it does have a really, really slim axle. And it's to a point where, yeah, even this truck, it's pretty hard for it to catch up on things. Other than my NCX10, which I know Sean is highly opinionated with running 2.2s on a Honcho. To me, it was a must because if I would run at 1.9, this thing would be dragging on the floor. So,
Yeah.
but to me, portals it's just an advantage, just easier for you to conquer a trail. Now, Sean's RC Adventures is the guy that actually posts the Vanquish, that Vanquish truck. He actually posted on Facebook Marketplace because it was actually getting hung up every so often. He just went out crawling with it for like, I would say 30 minutes, and he was really fed up with it. So yeah, it all depends, man, what you like to do, honestly.
Agree.
So.
Well, hey, brother, I gotta get on out of here and get back to some of this stuff. I'm gonna have to call Mama in a minute.
Sounds good, Uncle Lee. Hey, man, appreciate you stopping by, and yeah, man, have a great rest of your weekend. That's for sure.
All right, man. Thanks for having me. I'll catch you later.
You got it, man. Take it easy. So let's see here. Oh, we have Barbecue Altered RC. Hey, man, welcome. Good evening. And see, there you go. See, Sean's RC Adventure says, I sold that Vanquish axles, though you have no choice.
Yeah.
And I know he sold that Vanquish truck because it was just getting hung up, on the differentials. So it like I said, the portals are meant, I guess, for you to conquer whichever terrain much easier, simpler. Although, if you do have a big old freaking pumpkin, then yeah, you're gonna get hung up. You will not have a good time, that's for sure.
Agree. I had, my Gen 7 Pro was my first crawler technically, and non-portals it started out with. Then I got my Gen 8, and it's like, wow, the difference was night and day.
Yeah. Earl RC says, I almost bought myself a used Vatera Sender roller for pretty cheap a while back, but it was too beat up and wasn't worth it, in my opinion, because it was all stock. Well, you just picked it up, man. Because the thing is, when the Vatera Sender came out, it was the next level of crawling, honestly. Even when the Ascender came out, I think the first gen SCX10 was still around. So this thing out of the box, it performed really well in its time. Now, of course, we have portals, we have digs, we have all these fancy features. And yes, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this truck is actually a bit outdated now. But when it was new, oh man, this thing was amazing. One of the things that actually made me purchase this, and I know I did talk about it, was the metal links. Okay, when you purchase the Axial SCX10, the links were plastic, and this bad boy, this baby, came with metal links out of the box. So that was for me. That was another reason why I picked this one up. So
A lot of rigs still come with plastic links, amazingly.
and yeah, I mean, and see, the thing is, I always get stuck, with that certain brand, and sometimes I don't even, do my research and just search around. But I'll ask you this, since you own Red Cat, let's talk about Red Cat a little bit. So, what features do a Red Cat have? Or if there's any difference between the Ascender or the SCX10, are there any differences?
So let me be honest up front that my knowledge of the SCX 10s isn't as much as probably yours. Definitely Red Cat's been my main one that I've had, and then my TRX 4.
Right.
So my knowledge there, but they do come with metal links.
Do they?
Yeah, which is nice. The Gen 8, you got your portals, metal links. The servos aren't that great. The electronics in general probably aren't all that great, to be honest. But most ready to runs aren't for the most part. But Red Cat did step it up this past year when they came out with the Axe edition, because that was basically your Gen 8. They changed the body a little bit, and they gave you, the Axe brushless setup with the nice Reese servo. I still can't remember which servo it was, but a really nice servo. I mean, basically there was no need to replace the servo. Really, the only thing you need to do on that rig, radio was nice, all the electronics. I mean, $500 rig, and your electronics was more than that. That was in that rig.
Yeah.
Put foams or tires on it, and good to go. Because that's probably the worst part of Red Cat is their foams. They use memory foam on their foams. They're horrible.
And also, look, I haven't owned Red Cat, and actually, I've been a person that have seen how Red Cat actually initiated the brand, initiated business, and one of the major things that Red Cat had was parts availability. Do you have any issues with that?
Not at all. Not at all. And I can tell you, even though I've only done it once, I know plenty of others that have. Their warranty at Red Cat is phenomenal. Like, you go
Really?
online, fill out this form, and they will send you something out right away. I can't remember what it was that it was on my Gen 7 Pro. Something I broke relatively quick, and they sent me out replacements like quick, no problems, no hassle. And you see that all the time on the forums. They replace stuff really quick, really easy, and they've also come out with upgrades. They got a lot of metal upgrades, parts, axle housings, and skid plates, and a lot of upgraded stuff that they come out with for their rigs. So,
Oh, sweet.
never had an issue getting parts.
So let's see. And again, I do specify this a lot. I'm not really that familiar with the Red Cat fleet, but I know it's the Gen 8. I know it was even a Gen 7 at some point, right?
Yep, Gen 7.
So the Gen 7, the Gen 8, and then now recently there's the Gen 8 X, right? The one that's brushless.
Yep.
Am I missing any more crawlers?
They had their, and I'm not that familiar with it. They had before the Gen 7, it was another type of crawler that they had. I don't have any experience with it. I can't think of the name right now, but they actually had another crawler. It was what I would consider more on the cheaply side than
Right.
More so. But so they have had some others, and it seems like each time they come out with a new one, they stepped it up each time. Everest 10, there you go, RC Voodoo. That's it, the Everest 10.
I got you right. Yeah, actually, I'll highlight the comment. There you go. Okay. So now let me ask you this: since you are a Red Cat owner, from all of those that we just mentioned, is there the best one to purchase? You know, the one, I guess what they call the Holy Grail. You know, the one that say, you know what, from all of those, this is the one that stands out. And I know you're gonna say the brushless one, the Axe. But aside from even from that, is there any other vehicle that you would choose? You know, between all of those.
Yeah, I don't know that there's really a holy grail, in my personal opinion. I mean, because if we're talking best bang for the buck,
Yeah, exactly.
and to me, the best bang for the buck would be a normal Gen 8 because you can get one for like $230 roughly, ready to run. So,
Yeah.
especially
Okay.
for somebody new, getting in like that to me would be the best bang for their buck. And like we were saying earlier, you can get a pack if you want to build something. You can get a pack for roughly $150.
Right.
And build whatever you want. So I would say, one of those two in my regards. And, they've got drifters. I don't have any, but they have drifters. They got some bashers, monster trucks that seem like they're okay.
Yeah, another one that I've seen around is, what is it? That camel, the camel, right? Kind of looks like a Yeti,
Yep.
right?
Least,
yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So
and other stuff. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and see the thing is, Red Cat actually has stepped up their game. Okay, as I said, when they started initially, even their product, man, pretty much as you would unbox it, that thing would just break right out of the box. Okay. Again, I mean, I'm not saying that Axial Red Cat is actually bad, or I have nothing good or bad to say about the company. Why? Because I never own a vehicle, but that's just my comment is based on what I hear from people. Okay. And now where I'm getting to this is, so RC Voodoo says, I've owned every crawler Red Cat has made, from the Rock Slide to the Axe. If we can ask RC Voodoo or RC Daniel, so from that whole entire crawling fleet from Red Cat, which one would you pick best, RC Voodoo? Let us know in the comment section down below.
Yeah, and he's had it seems like just about every one of them, so he's got some good experience.
Yeah. And then Earl RC says the Rock Slide is the one that I really want. Huh. Okay, and then Green Frog RC says Red Cat does sell a drone also. Do they? Really?
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's Kagan. Green Frog RC says that maybe there's a. I haven't seen a drone either, but if they do, oh wow. And then Kevin Gibbs says John Nichols has been winning comps with his Gen 8. He did change the body. Oh, sweet, man. And there's RC Voodoo's response. He's actually going with a Gen 8. It says the Gen 8 is the best deal. Unless you want to get the Axe, it's by far the best. So the Gen 8, huh? I know the Gen 7 and the Gen 8, there are a couple of features that were actually, what's the word I'm looking for? Perfected, I guess. Because I know the Gen 7, a lot of people were complaining that the Gen 7 actually had like a hump right here. And then the Gen 8, I think they eliminated that.
The Gen 8 had the hump. The Gen 7 didn't. When they came out with the Gen 8, it had the hump, but they also came out with a replacement piece that takes out the hump.
Did they? Oh, okay, so even they fixed the issue. Oh, okay.
That's one thing I do like about them is, they had issues with their portals breaking off sickly in the back, breaking axle housings or portal housings. They redesigned them and came out with their HD ones, which seemed to be really good. They came out with chromoly front portal axle, the inner axle gear and axles and stuff, because those were having issues. They actually came out with a chromoly and a HD version, so they've made quite a few upgraded parts. For them, they seem to listen to when people complain or give feedback. They seem to listen, and
yeah, and I see that so far. So that's pretty cool. So Sean Garcia Adventure says the axe is another cheater setup. And then RC Voodoo's response says, I'm putting the axe in the Komodo. Now what, Sean?
that axe system is super smooth. I gotta say, when I drove exo caged RCs, I mean, how smooth it was. It was very nice.
Yeah, and look, so my Honcho SCX10, actually, I'll bring it back in frame again. So my Honcho SCX10, God, can't even put on frame again. Come on, there you go. I am running a Tekken. It's not the Rock, it's actually a Redline. But since this thing is censored, so I'm running the Tekken Redline low KV mortar, with the Tekken ESC. And actually, I just what I did, we just raced up the drag brake as much as you can, and this thing does wonders, man. And this thing is a brushless. It is a brushless rig, and this is by far one of my most powerful crawlers, and that's why, as I was saying initially, this truck became a stock Honcho, and then it became a comp vehicle, and then it was just a trail truck, and now it's just a recovery vehicle. Because this thing is so damn top heavy that I just had to. If I would have to go on a crawling trail, this thing does really, really poorly because it is so damn top heavy that it just doesn't perform as it should. But the power is there, I'll tell you that. But this thing doesn't crawl really, really well. So
gotcha. Yeah, I'm liking my Holmes Hobby Crawlmaster Sport 10 turn, which is what I have in my comp rig right now.
Oh yeah. So now here's another question that I know it's highly, highly debatable. So as far as electronics go, so what would you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer a brushed system, or a brushless setup on a crawler? What is your take, my friend?
I don't have a ton of experience with brushless in a crawler. I've only drove like Exo Cage RC's Gen 8 Axe when he had it, which was nice. But I've comped with brushed, and I like it. Not saying it wouldn't, the brushless system can't be better. I'm sure they can. But right now I'm sold on brushed, to be honest. So
now that you're sold on brush, now is it because there are so, I guess for lack of a better word, they're so available that whatever it is that you can get, it's within reach?
Yeah, I mean, from availability, I mean, Holmes Hobby motors are pretty much always easy to get. And I now have, I think, 4 Holmes Hobby motors. I've not had one issue with any of them that I have, with lots of use on most of them. And I mean, at $20 for the ones that I've currently purchased, $20 a pop, I feel like you can't beat that. And then you pair that with a Hobbywing 1080 ESC for $40 to $50, like, you can't beat that price.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion, I know, I'm debating honestly on getting one of their more expensive motors, like one of their pro motors, I think it is, which is closer to like the $100 range. I've thought about trying it because I have played with a couple of Exo Caged RC's vehicles that have some of the nicer Holmes motors in them, and
right.
It makes me want to try the more expensive ones. But for $60 for an ESC and a motor, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, of course. And for the price, yeah, you can't beat it. Okay, once you go censored brushless, I mean, the price is up there. You're looking at minimum like about roughly about $200.
Yeah.
With a mortar and ESC included. Okay, now when you go into brushless, uh, censored brushless, of course, what are the differences between a censored brushless and a brushed? One of the things that I could just tell you right off the bat, the noise. Okay, uh, there are most of the, and I'm not saying no, because I know, yeah, you guys are gonna say no, that's not true. This one actually doesn't make a lot of noise. It's brushed, but most of the brushed motors that are out there, they're noisy. You can just hear them whine as you go. Now, on a brushless setup, I mean that thing just does this tiny whine that's it. You know. So if the motor noise on a brush vehicle annoys you, that right off the bat, you will eliminate it if you go brushless. Another thing that I do notice is the consistency of power. Okay, obviously it all depends on the type of pinion that you're running, and also even the setup that you have on your ESC. But oh man, this thing it kind of like you just press the throttle and it just floats. On a brushless system, and of course even with a brushed setup, but this thing hardly ever cogs, man. I never had any issues, as far as cogging and stuff like that. This thing, it is very, very, I guess, powerful. And I guess, what is the other word I'm looking for? Noisy, less noisy, I guess. So, and third, well, it's brushless. It's hard for you to actually mess up with brushless motors. I'm not saying that they're bulletproof, but if you buy a brushless system, it's gonna be there forever. I do have, and actually I've had experiences where I've ran brushed mortars, and even like for example, the fourth or fifth run that I've done, on a brushed mortar, I would just burn them really, really quick. So, it's another thing that you got to consider. If you go brushless, well, that thing will stay there on there forever. It will be hard for you to even toast it, to be honest. So.
I agree with you from what I know. I mean, I have a brushless in one of my bashers, and and it's an old setup. Now I've rebuilt it a couple times because it's 10 years old.
Right.
Um, from what I know too, depending on the ESC you're running on some of these brushless, you have more tunability potentially. On some of the stuff for crawling. So I see that advantage definitely there. With that. And I think your point's valid. You spend $200 more up front, but if you keep that crawler for life or for 5 years, you're going to offset that money more than likely, I would expect. But I can say I've been in the crawlers about a year and 8 months, roughly, something like that. Yeah. My 12-turn Crawlmaster Sport has a ton of runtime on it. Normal crawling, competition crawling, and I did USTE, all the trails at USTE with it. Not a lick of issues, out of that brush motor. I haven't done anything to it other than clean it and oil the bushing and the bearing. It's probably got about a year's worth of use on it. So it's been pretty good. Now, will it fail in 2 weeks? Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. And see, another thing with a brushed mortar is that the nemesis of a brushed mortar is actually dirt.
Yes.
Okay. And here, for example, I live in West Texas. Sand is everywhere. One of the mortars that I burned right out of the box, and actually I even had a buddy there with me at the time. I was using this one, and when it was new at the time, it was my Axial Wraith. And we decided to go. My buddy was using the Exo Wraith stock electronics, and I was using this, and it had the stock, not the stock. I'm sorry, it had that setup, the brushless setup, which is still on there today. And we went on a few trails, and I remember my friend was actually struggling going up a rock, and all of a sudden we just see this huge flame coming out of the mortar. It just toasted, just shoo! A big old burst of a big old flame just came out of the bottom of the wraith, and immediately like that, shut it off, and yeah, man, my friend toasted, his that brushless mortar. Now there was a negligence on my part. Obviously, I didn't break it in, but at the same time, even to work on a wraith, man, I gotta get. I think you have to remove like 6 to 8 screws just to get that bottom plate off in order for you to get to the mortar. And of course, I knew that once that thing gave out, I was just gonna upgrade at the time, and I did. And even my wraith has the Tekken Rock setup, mortar and ESC. And till this day, man, I haven't had any issues whatsoever with that system ever since. So, and look, and I'll tell you this, my Honcho SCX10 has, that Tekken setup. It is brushless, censored. It's been there since 2014, and I haven't had a single issue whatsoever.
Nice.
So,
I just don't think I have enough brushless experience in a crawler. I probably need to get one and try one to give it a good opinion. I know one of Exocaged RC's Capras he had. I don't know what the motor was, but it was one of Holmes Hobby's high dollar motors, and I drove that thing on his backyard course, and I was blown away how smooth it was. I mean, you barely pull the trigger. You're getting, it's moving. It was so smooth.
Yep.
And that wasn't brushless. That was brushed, and it was like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, and the thing is, going brushed or brushless, the difference is, man, it's how much you want to spend in the long run. Honestly, that's what you get, by the end of the day. Obviously, a brush mortar, it could be as smooth as a brushless, but you're highly more likable to burn a brushed mortar than a brushless. That you have my word.
Agree. I agree with you on that.
So, Kevin Gibbs says, I killed a Traxxas mortar the first week. It didn't like the water. That Holmes could power a submarine. Huh.
I still haven't killed the Traxxas motor in my TRX4. Still got the stock motor in it, and I've been waiting for it to die. I have a motor to put in it. I've just been waiting to see how long it would last. And that Titan motor's still going.
Yeah, and same here. So which color do you have? The Blazer?
Red and black.
Okay, I have the orange and white. So
I won on a raffle page. I got about $80 into winning it.
Oh, really? Okay. And sorry, my friend, I know you jumped in, but I'm really, really unfamiliar. So do you have a YouTube channel here on YouTube?
I do. Yep. It's under, my JMHRC.
Okay. Yeah, and sorry, man, I definitely have to check your channel out, after this. And so yeah, so you do have the red and black Blazer. Now, what upgrades do you have on that TRX4?
Currently, right now, it has. I just recently did this actually. I think it's Team Jaffe aluminum front strut towers, because and I have a 35 kg servo in it. I'll give credit to the Traxxas. I have beat that thing so hard. I guess since I don't really have much into it, sometimes I don't care about it, and just it gets beat hard. And it took a year before the Panhard bar started flexing, and not on the axle side, but it started flexing it where it connects on the driver's side of it, shock tower. and to upgrade that, I bought these. They were pretty inexpensive. Got them through Dixieland RC, but you actually, because of the fender wells and stuff, you actually have to. I had to cut some of that stuff out, but I actually did a video on it, and I mean, I still have the fender wells; they're still in there, but I had to, customize it a little bit to make it work. But that took care of the flex. Flex was gone after that.
Interesting.
So,
Okay.
35 kg servo, those, a light kit from Lit LED, and a DSM pull cord from DSM Off Road. That's it. Stock tires. That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
So on mine, you're probably gonna laugh, but I did purchase, the LED kit for that, and actually it was a genuine Traxxas part. And I was actually asking the other day, man, how come Axial has such expensive LED kit, for an awesome truck, I think I paid like $80, man, just for that kit.
You probably don't want to know how much I paid for mine.
Well, how much?
I think $25 shipped.
Yeah, no, and yeah, because I know there's plenty of aftermarket LED lights. But you see, the thing with me is that since I just love the still look, I really love how that thing looks. I just wanted to keep it as genuine as possible. And yeah, trust me, I know, that there are aftermarket LED lights for that truck. But I said, hell with it. I'll just buy the genuine thing, and so yeah, and then I installed it, and yeah, it looks amazing. I'm not gonna say that's $80 well spent. So obviously, I couldn't have spent $80 for just lights. And I can actually, I do agree with your price. Actually, that's the price that I would pay, to be honest. But I guess I just went because it's just a genuine Traxxas part. So that's one of the things that I did on mine. And then I also did buy the axle weights from Hot Racing. Actually, that gave it a huge advantage, just to conquer any type of terrain. Honestly, that thing would just go and boom, just hump on over. So even at that, man, that was pretty cool. And also another thing that I did upgrades. Well, I don't consider this an upgrade, but I did exchange the drive on the back diff. So I converted into a underdrive. And there was a few questions, that were asked. What are the benefits between an overdrive and an underdrive? So the way I read about it, the way I understood it, was that the underdrive, if you would put an underdrive rather than an underdrive, the underdrives gives you a bit more percentage brake as you're coming down. So it kind of works as a dig, whenever it is that you need it, when it comes down, if you have to turn, that's when the underdrive comes into play. The overdrive, it's more of a gear that if you really need that extra speed, the tires will actually just help you grab and help you go. So technically, the way I would crawl, I would say, I guess I would benefit more on an underdrive. And so I did use it a couple times. And actually, just so you know, I did buy my TRX4, I would say maybe a few months back. And yeah, once I had that upgrade, I did see that it is amazing because I did come into some places where I'm coming down, and eventually I would have to turn left or to the right. The wheels, as you're coming down, they're actually braking for you, and it's a lot easier, just to get that truck, where you really want it, So,
right.
yeah, so it's the underdrive, and then it was the LED lights, and what else did I put on there? Oh, and then I went with the tiniest pinion that I could have find there at the time. It was like an 11 tooth around there. So
Gotcha. I got a couple of things. General hobbies. Where are you at in Florida? I've never done underdrive gears, but I actually have overdrive in two of my Gen 8s, both my competition build and um, uh, my normal Gen 8. In testing, like steering, it made a huge difference in my turning radius with the overdrive. But the underdrive might do the same thing, because basically what I found is the back is pushing the front, and then you overdrive it, and the front's not really being pushed anymore
Mm-hmm.
by that. So you doing what you did in theory is doing the same thing, just in a different way.
Exactly. So if you put the same gearing in a stock setup, if you just pretty much put an underdrive to a regular gear in the front, you are braking, the vehicle with the back tires.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you just put an overdrive with a regular rack and pinion in the back, now that's technically the front wheels are actually spinning faster than the rear.
Yeah.
So theoretically, the way you see it, even if you put an overdrive or an underdrive, the rear wheels actually move not as fast as the front.
Correct.
So,
And when I did my Gen 8, I actually probably picked up close to a mile an hour in top speed when I went with overdrive in the front.
oh, did you?
Yeah. In general hobbies, I'm in St. Augustine, Florida, so um, not too terribly far from where you are. And Exocage Darcy, he's like an hour from me. I'll actually see him tomorrow at competition.
Oh, sweet, man. So then you probably know 11 Charlie and what's his name? Uh, Swampers RC.
I don't think I know of 11 Charlie, obviously, but I don't think I know him. If I met him, I didn't realize I did.
Oh yeah. 11 Charlie is also a good friend of mine. I know they're also in Florida. Now RC Voodoo, I don't know his status right now, but I know he was also in Florida. I don't know if he still is or not, but so yeah, even General Hobbies, Island RC Duke, 11 Charlie, yourself, Swampers RC. Um, yeah, those guys live in Florida, and actually, I'm in West Texas, my friend.
Nice. Hey,
So,
General Hobbies. Yeah, I'll tell him. Hey, and I don't know if y'all know, Exocage has his own like Facebook group. He actually holds competitions usually once a month in his backyard course. So if you follow his Facebook page, he posts them there. So since you're in Florida and might want to come up, that would be your best opportunity.
oh, and that's right, and Barbecue Altered RC. I know he's also in Florida. And see, look, there you go. Look, 11 Charlie RC, right there.
Yep. Not too terribly far from St. Augustine.
So there you go.
Yeah, who's going to USTE this coming year?
I'm actually planning on it.
Are you?
It's not, yes. It's not an official thing. It all depends, how that month actually pans out. And if I'm not mistaken, it's in February, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I am seeing, how that month plans out, and if so, yeah, I'll go up there.
I'll see you then, hopefully, because I'm going. I went this past year was my first time going, and oh my god, like I'm going every year, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh, that's sweet, man. So yeah, and then yeah, look, 11 Charlie, man. I'm telling you, he's really into crawlers. He's in the military, and also he has a great channel, man. So I highly suggest you to check him out. And there you go. Look, that's pretty much what he does. Operation 11 Charlie. He's taking care of our veterans. That's what he does, man.
I've heard of him obviously, and I've heard about what he's been doing. I didn't realize he was in Florida. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's in. Oh, you'll be surprised, man. Actually, I do have friends, further up west, like Sean's, for example, Sean's RC Adventures. Mr. I don't like brushless setups right there. He's actually in New York. And I think if I'm not mistaken, Kevin Gibbs, I think he's also in Florida. I'm not sure. But Kevin Gibbs, man, he's always very supportive, the RC community. But yeah, you know, so because also he did mention this, he said that he will also be in USTE.
Nice.
So
It's a great event, and if you've never been, I was given the same advice. I will pass on. Plan to go for all 3 days.
all three. Oh wow.
I debated on going for one day since it was my first year this year, and multiple people said go all 3 days, and thank God I did.
Yeah.
You will not be able to do everything in one day. Just you won't be able to. You will miss something.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. So and like so I was amazed when 11 Charlie RC, Wayne's RC Adventures, Honey Lulu, Sean's RC Adventures, Sprint Solo, all of these YouTube channels that actually showed up at USTE. They were fortunate enough also to upload their videos on that event.
Yes.
And I did get to see, a couple of clips, and oh man, I gotta say, that's a great atmosphere, to be on. So even myself, I really, really do want to, go to something like that.
Yeah. Everybody's awesome, super nice people, awesome rigs. The stuff you see out there is just like mind blowing. The kind of stuff you see, and I mean, I ran into so many people from different places, in the country, different places in the world. It was like really, really awesome.
Yeah. So, and so also look on my channel. Obviously, I don't show my face. Not that I'm ashamed of myself, or not because So see, my channel is RC based. Okay, pretty much the RCs are the ones that are telling the story, and obviously, I'm the one that's behind the camera. And also, there's also simpler reasons why I don't show myself here in person on my channel. But if I ever go to UST, you guys will see me there personally. And all I gotta do is just say, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, RC Basher Boy here," and you guys will know it's me. So, but yeah, it would be truly an honor, to actually see my fellow YouTube friends there, at a UST. So, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Hopefully, I do make that come true, and so yeah, I'm shooting for February. See how it goes.
Definitely, you won't be disappointed. Seriously, you will not. It is just phenomenal.
Yeah. So, and hey, we have Kurt RC. What's up, man? Good evening. So aside from crawlers, so you do also mention that you had a couple bashers, right? I know you mentioned the Max.
Yep, I got the Traxxas Max.
So how are you liking that one so far?
That thing's a beast. Which, I mean, in all honesty, I guess everything Traxxas has for the most part is a beast, but it's fast. I rolled that, flipped that, jumped it. Knock on wood, I haven't broken anything yet. Well, I take that back. I twisted the axles on it, but I knew that was going to happen because I did the wide kit on it. And when you do the wide kit, it weakens the stock axles. So they actually sell a metal axle upgrade. I already had those and was waiting on the axles to twist.
Right.
And, but outside of that, I have rolled, flipped that thing. It's been great. It's an awesome basher.
Sweet. So one of the things that I did see, when that truck made its debut, and especially here on YouTube, I did read and I did see comments stating that truck flips a lot. Now, is that true?
Yeah, I mean, and I guess it depends on what you're wanting the rig for. I mean, to me, it's sort of a basher is what it is, not really a racer, even though I guess you can race it. So, I mean, if you take a corner fast, really fast, you got to flip over. Now you put the wide kit on it, and it widens its stamp. That makes a huge difference. And the shock oil from the factory isn't all that great, so you get a lot of belly slap when you do jumps and stuff. So thicker shock oil and stuff. But again, I guess it depends on what you want to do with it. But it takes a whole lot of abuse.
Yeah. So now, if I'm not mistaken, the price tag on that is like at closer to $6, right? Like $600.
Yes.
So at that price, would you still consider upgrading it to what they so-called, what is it, the anti-roll kit or whatever? Is that a must-have on that truck?
Well, I did the wide kit,
White kit. There you go. Yeah.
Mine came with the wide kit. Again, I got lucky. I won that on the raffle page. I have
cool.
$30 into winning that truck. And it came with the wide kit. I ran it for a while without, and then put the wide kit on it. And having the wide kit, again, depending on what you want to do with it, but it's worth it because this thing will wheelie all day long, like at ease. If you're on 4S, that thing will wheelie without a problem. And the wide kit, in my opinion, helps it be more stable during wheelies.
Sweet. And now, I know you told me you did win that on a raffle.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly how much is that white kit?
Because it came with it, I don't know. I think the white kit, I want to say it's like $80. I think. I believe somewhere around there. I think is the wide kit, and then you don't have to upgrade the axles to go to the wide kit. Technically, they don't say you have to, but I will tell you if you're going to do the wide kit, you might as well buy the axles. And the axles, maybe it was the axles that were $100. Maybe the wide kit's $50, something like that.
Right.
Because their stock axles are plastic. And when you put the wide kit on it, it just, the axles are long enough, they stretch out, but they get weaker, and you literally twist them, is what happens.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing, man, so that truck is roughly $600.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would still have to purchase all of those parts that you mentioned, the arms and for the white kit and all. So technically you would have to add on $80 more just to, I guess, perfect it, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
To perfect that vehicle. So that's closer to $700. Wow.
That's a lot of money for a rig. I'll be honest, I don't know if I'd have bought one on my own had I not won it. I don't know that I would have bought one.
Yeah. Now, this is the real question here. So the max is $600 now. With that upgrade, it's closer to $700. Could you agree on that?
Yep.
Now, how far off is the max from the X-Max? I mean, isn't the X-Max like?
I think when you talk about it, like you just mentioned it, I think you're getting right there to the X-Max territory.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the questions that I guess if you're in the market, for the Max and the X-Max, technically the X-Max would be the better buck, right? Because obviously I haven't heard any issues with the X-Max aside from the ESC and mortar, but I mean, I'm sure Traxxas did something about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beast from my understanding. What I know of them. I've never played with one, but they're beast. It's big. I will say that. I mean, X-Max is huge.
Yeah.
So there's that. But from a price standpoint, you're right. You're getting right there. I'm happy with my Max. Like, I don't necessarily want an X-Max, but you'd have to consider that if you were going to do all those things. But I love my Max. It's great. I put it in training mode, let my son play with it. Like I said, like 45 miles an hour out the box. It does, or I think closer to 50. But
no, and also other thing that would actually keep you thinking is, so the max is actually a 1/8 scale, right? If I'm not mistaken, is it?
So it could be 1/10 scale.
What? Okay, so yeah, so even okay, so it's a 1/10 scale. The max, technically, I'm just gonna say it's huge. I've even seen one in person, and that thing just takes space. Okay.
Yep.
So one of the things that I do have issues with is space.
Mhm.
Okay. And I know even on price point, everything shoots up. You know, everything leans towards the X Max. I would highly more consider the Max from the X Max because of the size.
Agree.
You know, so that's another thing that you would have to consider. Like, okay, so the X Max is bigger, but the Max it's actually shorter, and it kind of also delivers the same power, the same performance as the X Max, right? So
Agree.
you know, so that kind of, I'm not gonna say it should offset, but
It makes
that's
a
what
good argument.
exactly, you know.
Yep.
So interesting, man, interesting. So you did mention the Max, and which other basher you own?
My Evader is a little bit of a basher, and then I have a Centurion 2-wheel drive buggy that actually has a Traxxas Velon system in it. It's a Helon Centurion buggy, 2-wheel drive.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. What? So that's the model.
Yeah, it's Helon is the brand. I picked it up off Marketplace for $100, and it was pretty decent. And then I wanted more speed, so I put the Traxxas Velon system in it, and it does, I don't know, like 45 miles an hour roughly.
Oh, okay. Cool, man.
And it's been a beast. I have flipped and done all kinds of things with that one, and it's held up very well. So
Okay, cool. So, and as I was saying earlier, my friend, of course, you know, I'm new to your channel. So technically, what do you consider yourself as? Do you consider yourself as a basher, a crawler, a on-road type of guy? So technically, what is your taste in RCs?
it's definitely crawler with a little bit of bashing on the side. So definitely crawler. I used to be probably what I would say a basher,
Right.
but definitely crawler. Crawler, it's fun. It's relaxing. I have a small little crawler course in my backyard,
Do
so
you?
yep. So I can go out back and you know relax for a few minutes and crawl or test out new parts. So on my channel, it's mostly all crawling stuff, but I'll do some stuff with the Max, upgrades and stuff like that. But I've got stuff on my crawler course and things that I've done to it. And like tomorrow I'm going to competition. I'll take some video at the competition and put some stuff up from competition. I went to USTE this year for the first time. I did videos. I don't know how many I did, probably about 7 or so on some of the different trails and mud bogs and
Really? Cool.
I did. So like everybody else, pretty much, did videos. So, but definitely crawling. Crawling is my main thing.
Cool, man. Okay, so look, I'm looking up your channel on YouTube. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So it's a JMHRC. Let's see here.
Appreciate it. Subscribe. Appreciate it.
No, hey, yeah, man. And actually, what I'm gonna do here, and I don't know. No, actually, that's gonna take me off of. I'll tell you what, my friend. So once we end the live stream, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link to your channel, and actually, I'll pin this comment with a link to your channel. And those of you that are watching at home, just please subscribe once again to JMH. Come on, JMHRC. And what's your name, bro? If you don't mind me asking.
John.
John. So yeah, so please subscribe to John. And yeah, so let's take a look here. Oh, okay. So yeah, so you are really into crawling and stuff, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, man. So I'll definitely, check out a couple of your videos, and we'll go from there. So, oh, and 11 Charlie says, "Ring the bell, Gabe." Yeah, okay. So look, right there. Oh, did it do it? Let's see. No, I didn't. Let's see. Oh, there you go. So subscribe and notified, my friend. There you go. Then those of you once again on chat, if you guys go ahead and head over to JMHRC and subscribe to this channel. So let's see here. And oh man, I did see ShenRC Steve coming in, but I was just just talking. I wasn't able to say hi to him. But of course now he says, "Well, guys, gotta go finish up this video I am working on. Nice chatting with you." Hey man, appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm about to get off from here. I got a couple of things I need to do before tomorrow, and then get some rest. Got to be up early.
No, and you know what, man? Same here, my friend. I've been here live for 2 hours, 10 minutes,
Yep.
58 seconds. So yeah. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Let me see here. If I missed your comments, I'm so sorry. It's just I'm doing all these things here behind the scenes at a time. But yeah, I really do appreciate you stopping by. This Saturday, October. What is today? Very late. October 17th, 2020. Once again, I hope you're having a great weekend. And so yeah, so we'll see you. So obviously, other buddies from me, they also go live. For example, 11 Charlie RC, he goes live every Monday night. And as you can see, look, my friend 11 Charlie RC, he goes live every Monday night. I think around 8 o'clock his time. And then we have Tuesdays or Wednesdays. We have CCXRC Tony. He also goes live. He does his RC conspiracies. And then Thursday nights we have the Tank RC. And then Friday nights, Steve OD from the 313, which is right there, highlighted on your screen. And Saturday night, yours truly. Okay, I decided to come in here earlier because obviously I missed last Saturday due to availability issues. But I came here earlier, to catch up with you guys. So, but yeah, so join me every Saturday night, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock Mountain Time. So if you guys are not familiar what Mountain Time is, just Google search, hey, difference between my time and Mountain Time, and there's your difference. So yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll leave it at here. And yeah, so we'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks.
All right, later, man.
All right.